question 50 from exemplar problems, class 6, maths. So this is from ratio and proportion, and question 50 sort of is a good example to understand how ratios work in terms of figuring out actual quantities of objects. So the question is something like this: somebody made 18 kilograms of barfi. Okay, and that is Reshma. She made 18 kilograms of barfi. And in this 18 kilograms of barfi, you put two things. One of them is khoya. Khoya is like a milk condense, and which is often used for making sweets, and sugar. Okay, so anybody who's done any cooking knows very well that you can't just put any amount of khoya in any amount of sugar. There is a certain proportion, there's a certain quantity. Okay, so actually cooking is a very good way of understanding what ratios and proportions are like. Okay, main ingredients, you can't do it for things like salt and pepper and all that, but main ingredients like dal and rice ka proportion, this type of dal and that type of dal ka proportion, how much of tomatoes to how much of onions. So these kinds of proportions always work in cooking, and it's a good idea to study that to understand how proportions work. But in any case, she used, that is Reshma used, the khoya and sugar in a ratio of 7:2. Okay, so you can immediately understand that most of the barfi is actually khoya, and some amount of sugar is used to sweeten the khoya. Now the problem is, we ask, okay, when the ratio of khoya to sugar is 7:2, but actually how much khoya, how many kilograms of khoya was used, and how many kilograms of sugar was used? The question actually asks about khoya. And by using the ratio 7:2, we can figure that out. Okay, so the solution is something like this. If you take the total amount of khoya plus sugar, okay, khoya plus sugar, it is 7 plus 2, that is 9. Okay, that is the amount of units of khoya plus sugar that was used to make the barfi. What was khoya's proportion in that? What was the fraction of khoya in the barfi? That is obtained by 7 parts in 9. Okay, khoya is 7 parts in 9 of the barfi. I hope this point is clear. This is the most important point. If you got this point, then the rest of it is fairly straightforward. Okay, any doubts about this part? If you want me to explain this again, I'll do it again. Or if it's clear, tell me it's clear, then we can move on.
It's clear.
Sure, it's clear.
Got it. Okay. So now the next part is, if 7 part of 9 is khoya, then in 18 kilograms, it will be 7 by 9 times 18. Okay. Now this part is also a little bit of a trick. So you have to understand what you're doing. So 7 parts in 9 is khoya, and that amounts to how much in 18 kilograms of barfi. Okay, and if that part is also clear, then the rest of it is straightforward. 9 goes 1 time in 9 and 2 times in 18, and 7 multiplied by 2 is 14 kilograms. So now we have the answer. We can say that there is 14 kilograms of
And 4 kilograms of
khoya
sugar.
in this, and obviously in 18 kilograms, if 14 kilograms is khoya, then 4 kilograms is sugar, and that is the answer to the problem. So I hope that's clear, and the way you will understand this better is by solving more problems of this kind. So when you solve more problems of this kind, you will understand how ratio and proportion helps you to understand not just the ratios but also the absolute values.